And for everybody to know, Tiffany is Jean's.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Who's that? Who's that, Shantae? Tiffany is Jean's Cannon's daughter, so everybody know who she is.
Shantae. Yes.
Good morning, Shantae. All right.
Hi, Tiffany. Good morning.
Okay, let me see how many.
Good morning, Latoya. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Willie.
Hey, good morning, Shantae. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Good morning.
As everybody know, this is proprietary information that Latoya and I put years in time into this, and we're not giving it away just like that to people that want to infiltrate and be on and wasn't invited on. So I apologize for that. We'll be more careful in changing our code in the future for these trainings. So I apologize once again. But we're going to go ahead and carry on. If you have noise in the background, just mute yourself out and we'll open up. Just quickly open up. So if you got noise in the background. Okay, so once again, as we were talking about time versus money, just know that it takes some time. However, though, if you put the time in, it's going to pay dividends. It's going to pay dividends, and it's going to be rewarding in a big way. And the reason why we can say time in the future is going to be less and your money's going to be up, because we inspire. Once you decided to be full-time, or you already full-time, you're going to develop an agency within the firm. And it's going to naturally happen because we're going to need more people training and teaching people how we do it the core way. So trust me when I say this, I believe if a person put the time in somewhere around that 3-year mark, you could be at a multiple six figures. I believe somebody can be somewhere in this diagram of 3 to 4 years. You should be at $250,000 or more if we do it right, because we have what people are needing. And so keep that in mind. So stay steadfast and stay with the process and be patient. Don't try to hit a home run overnight with this. It's not that it won't do nobody no good. And we don't want anybody to get too over anxious to get it all done in a month or two. It's just not going to happen. Okay. So let's go to the next thing I want to talk about today. Go to the next thing. And that is, can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. It says club versus swing, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. When it comes to what we're doing that makes us different than everyone else is that we look at golf as an analogy. We love telling analogies around here. And if you were in a position to, be on the PGA Tour and you had someone like Tiger Woods that's going to say, look, if you want to be on the PGA Tour with us, I'm going to bless you with one or the other, one or two things. You have to choose which one. Would you rather have my club, my best club I ever used, or would you rather be possessed with my swing? Which one would most people choose?
Swing.
Who was that? Was that Daniel?
Nah, it wasn't me, but I think I'd take the swing.
Me too.
Okay, Susan. Okay. Well, you're absolutely right, because the swing is what possesses the talent, right? That's the gift. Is in his arm, is in his shoulder. It's not the club, because you can give somebody that's a scrub the club, and they ain't doing nothing with it, right? It can be the best club Tiger ever used in his life. It can have golden tips on it. It doesn't matter, right? So when we look at that, that's what the industry is doing. Most people spend all their time searching for the perfect product, and a product is representing the club, right? When you hear buy, term, and invest the difference, that is a product sale. When you hear, different terminologies of one fit all, that is a product sale. And that's where most people lie. That's what most professionals are selling, mutual funds and things of that nature, right? We believe there's more opportunity in helping our clients eliminate wealth transfers than picking winning investments. That's the swing. That is the swing. More people have money leaking out their personal economies in a bucket more than any gains they can ever get. And we always give the analogy. Here's the analogy that I always give. And hopefully you get this language, because this is what I use. If you have credit cards and you're spending on an average 18% for your credit card debt, you're paying back 18% on top of the principal, but yet your 401k is only, probably giving you about 4 to 6%. Is that a winning strategy or losing strategy? Are you gaining or are you losing when you look at the net amount of money going out versus coming in, right? So if you can share that with people and say that to people, they get it, because they don't think of it like that. No one's going to sit down with them and have them think about their money that while they focus only on the gains of their money, and they're happy when they get 7-8%, but they don't look at the other end and see how much is going out. More is going out than coming in. It's a losing strategy, and that's where we show that recapturing your money. Remember, we can find 1% or 2% throughout a year. How much that equivalents to in interest? Do we remember that? Well, that's where we can show them that, and it's a no-brainer. If they paying attention to the real net gain on their dollar, then it's a no-brainer. But what separates us is that we can do that, and we focus on that. We focus on losses more than gains, because it's about a strategy, not a product. Because can someone tell me, why do most put their money in position? Why do most financial professionals, especially security licensed guys that have, that sell mutual funds and things of that nature, what's their number one objective? Why do they do that? And ignore the losses. I'm sorry, who was that?
So they'll earn a commission?
Exactly. And really, it's not just a one-time commission, it's forever. As long as that account is open, they earn off of those funds, whether that person has lost or gained, right? From the information you have right now, Willie, how would that make you feel knowing that you have this money in this account, and whether you take losses or gains, they still make money regardless? And they're the one that's moving your funds from one, from one fund to another.
Very taken advantage of.
Exactly.
Yep.
And this is most Americans. This is most middle class. This is what's happening to them. We're here to tell the truth. We're here to make them aware. We're here to help them prosper more. We're here to help them win. If we can get behind that, you are a corepreneur, period. If we can get behind that, it's an education. So that's why I said we're not here selling a product. We're not insurance agents. Insurance agents don't do that. So any comments or questions about this philosophy and concept right here we just went over, the club versus the swing? Okay. And hopefully we taking notes and we remember this, because this is how I open up sometimes when I'm talking to people one-on-one. If you had a choice, Tiger Woods was giving you his swing or his club, which one would you be better off with? Which one would you choose? And then now it gives you a chance to show them why you would rather choose the swing if they said the product. If they said the club. Some people say club because they kind of, it kind of get convoluted a little bit where they're not sure. And then now we go over why we're about the swing, which is the process and the strategy. Okay? Hopefully that's clear. remember that when somebody said, what makes y'all different? This is what makes us different. Okay, let's go to the next thing I wanted to talk about. Give me 1 second here. Let's close that out. Bring this back up. Okay, here we go. The next thing I want to talk about is the 4 personality types. And this has helped me so much in my career when I learned these 4 personality types. So if most people on here have heard the 4 personality types before, but I want to break it down to you how I learned it in depth and how I used it as I built relationships, because people are wired totally different. And the way we want to become is we want to be all 4 when we need to be. We know them, and now you become a better communicator. We realize people fall in one of these 4 categories. Okay? So let's talk about the 4 types. Learning how to relate to and edify different types of people. The 4 types. Give me 1 second, y'all. If you have your mic on and you outside or whatever you're doing, just mute, please, because I like to keep the line
Morning,
open.
Gabby.
I believe it's Susan.
I got it. So here we go, y'all. So there's one personality type. It's called the shark. The shark is a person that's money motivated, and then you have the dolphin. The dolphin he or she is the person that loves to have fun, and then we have the urchin. The urchin is motivated by facts and information. They're fact oriented, and then we have the whale. The whale is a person that loves helping people, like making a difference. Okay, so those are the 4 personality types. So, hey, I'm gonna have to mute out, y'all, because it is too much noise going on. Give me 1 second, y'all.
Tony, sorry. Can you hear me, Tony?
I can.
Can you just go back? I just have to get that last little thing on the slide. I'm just taking notes, please.
Okay, yo, give me 1 second.
Sure. And it wasn't me the last time. I think somebody said it was Susan. I was muted.
Okay.
Oh, that was me.
Okay, here we go. Let's go back to okay, where we at here?
I got the urchin. It was just the last one before I blinked your move.
Yep. Give me 1 second here.
It's okay. If you're gonna go in detail, I'll capture it here. If you're going in detail.
Oh, here it is. I just had to unlock it. Okay, here we go. So it's the shark, it's the dolphin, it's the urchin, and it's the whale. Okay, this is very important. It almost seems like how does this matter when it comes to what we do? Every part of it does. People do not buy what we're marketing or selling them or putting them in. They buy us. They want to like you first, and this is where you really get better at people skills.
Thank you,
right?
Tony.
Yep.
Thank you.
So the first one is the shark. Let's talk about the shark. The shark is a money motivated person. The shark is a person. Number one, they're being the best. They're one of the they're winners. They're accomplished type of people. Hold up, there's pictures anywhere. Give me 1 second. They're accomplished type of people. They are recognition and they love recognition and significance. Okay, that's the number one thing about a shark. They like being the best. Okay, sharks are driving. They're in your face type of people. They're resort oriented people. They love the thrill of the chase. They can handle rejection after rejection, and they have a strong ego. And they love to be recognized for what they do. Okay, shark people are very aggressive. They call them A types, alpha types. Okay, so that's a shark. Also, sharks they have a fast pace and they're very decisive. They make decisions quickly. And 15% of the population are sharks, and they want to be in control too. These people actually do make good leaders, once they not learn to balance that out, they want you to be blunt and to the point. They strive for results in productivity. Their strengths are they're risk takers. They make quick decisions and they take massive action. And their weakness can be they can come across rude and pushy and may want to cut corners. So that's why I say a shark. They're great. They're great producers. Great producers. However, though, when you recognize your personality to be like that, or somebody to be like that, it's got to be curtailed. You got to know this about yourself and know how to smooth it out so you won't be offensive and you won't run from people. And it almost seems like you're selfish. So sharks have got to be careful, but they're very, very good people to be on the team, to be a part of what you're doing. And when you're going after your clients, you got to know they're shark as well, because you cannot beat around the bush with them. You got to show them the bottom line. Matter of fact, they'd rather know the bottom line and the end result before they know the beginning. So keep that in mind. If you talk long with the shark, they're going to push you on, get to the point. Okay? Anybody know anybody like that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of them.
Yeah. Sharks are money motivated. How do you approach someone like this? You must catch their attention with the income that can and is being made here. Anything else and you will lose a shark. So kind of what I just said. So that's a shark, y'all. So remember, they're out there. You got to know that they're appearing to be a shark. You might even know them to be like that already. And if you know them to be like that and they're a prospect for us to share with as a client for us, let me know, because I know how to go about a shark to the point I can speak their language. But if I'm talking to a whale and I act like a shark to them, I would lose them. So we'll talk about that as we go forward. Now let's talk about the second personality. Dolphins. They love having fun. They're primarily motivated by enjoying the ride and having fun along the way. Dolphins just want to play. They love energy. They want to. They work for them. What works for them is to play. They enjoy talking on the phone and talking with clients, catching up with them, asking about their kids, talking about sports, and going to network events and other business functions as well. They're they're a people person. They love the energy. If there's no energy there, they're bored. They love coming together. If not, they feel like they're not building relationships. This is a dolphin, okay? Dolphins also, they love to party. Network is their specialty. Their pace is fast and spontaneous. They're about 15% of the population, and they want to be noticed and admired, okay? And they want you they want to be in a position of fun and excitement, okay? So they're the life of the party, okay? And they love traveling, right? They love, energy. They just love it. So that's what a dolphin's about. They strive for recognition and applause. Their strength is enthusiastic. They're motivating. They're creative, and they're charming and persuasive. Their weakness is they talk too much sometimes, and they disorganize. And they also they disorganize, but they have organized fashion. It's just something that they can operate in, and they're not great with finances. They're also forgetful, and they're poor with follow-up. Okay, sometimes follow-up is not even that important to them, or being organized is not that important to them. So if that's us, or we know people like that, or we have a client like that, knowing this, we got to know a dolphin is probably not going to slow down and do a financial questionnaire. We have to do it for them. We got to ask them the questions and get it down and write it ourselves from what we hear about a dolphin. So I'm just trying to relate it to also not just being identifying somebody that's a good fit probably for core, but more importantly, how you want to look at your client. If they're a dolphin, you might want to take control of those financial questionnaires being filled out. How do you approach someone like this? You must catch their attention with the fun and social aspect of your company. Anything else, and you will lose a dolphin. So if I'm talking to a dolphin from a client standpoint, I want them to see the benefits of doing the thing that we do and helping them be in a position to travel more, to be able to, not change their lifestyle, but enhance their lifestyle from owning your private family bank and being more efficient with their spending and their budget and things of that nature. So you got to lead it back to what they love to do based on what you know about them being a dolphin. So hopefully that's helpful. Now let's talk about an urchin. An urchin is motivated by facts and figures, information. They're very analytical type of people. When we use this, remember these are urchins. These are different sorts of fish. And an urchin is all about the information. And once they have it, they will organize it to their high standards and use it to get results. They also like details. They're about facts, taking things apart, love being right, love order, structure, extremely analytical. Their pace is slow and systematic. Okay, so we got to be patient with urchins. When you know you have an urchin, you cannot push them on to make a decision quickly. They make decisions slowly. 35% of the population is urchins, and they want to be right. Remember that. They want to be right. So let's go back here. Remember, the sharks was only 15% of the population. The urchins were another 15%. But when it comes to analyticals, at 35% of the population, you're going to run across them more often than sharks and also than urchins. Urchins want you to be prepared and precise. They evaluate you very, very closely. They strive for accuracy and precision. Their strengths are dependable, they're accurate, efficient, and very organized. Their weaknesses, they're paralyzed by overanalyzing, too critical, overly cautious, and skeptical. Do anybody know anybody like that?
Sal.
Yes, sir.
So this is important to know, y'all, because I'm telling you, we're gonna run across these individuals and be knowing them like that. Some of them are our family members. Some of them are us. And when we're like this, we cannot work with somebody else the way we are. Like if you're an urchin and you're like that, and you're talking to a shark and you're trying to go through every detail because you think they will want to know every detail, you're going to lose them. You're going to lose them. So
Preach, Pastor.
Say it again.
He said, "Preach."
I said, "Preach, Pastor."
Yeah. Hey.
I'm an urchin and I'm trying to close a couple sharks. All they wanted to see was the illustrations. I was so mad, but I knew it.
Exactly. And this is a reminder too. Some of us seen this training before, but it's a reminder. Even for me, it's a reminder. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been using this training for 20 years. But it's a reminder because it happens where we tend to do what and go over and process things the way we are, right? It's like almost like the 5 love languages, right? You got to know who they are. You got to figure it out if you don't know who they are right away, and then proceed accordingly. So let's continue with the urchins. The urchins, how do they approach someone? How do you approach someone like this? You must catch their attention with all the facts, and everything else. Anything else, you would lose. An urchin, right? You can't be like a shark towards the urchin. You can't be too much fun and not serious with the urchin, right? You got to be right and speak right to them with their language and give them information that they need. Sometimes you just got to give them the book to read. They'll read that book as fast as you give it to them. So just keep an urchin in mind if you know people like that. Okay, now let's talk about the whale. A whale is a personality type that loves helping people and making a difference. Is what they're all about. Whales typically want what is best for everyone. They will give themselves to a cause big time. They like peace, love, harmony, and volunteering for different things that are available to volunteer for. They will work hard and make sacrifices so that the greater goods are done for the greatest number, and so that the whole community, the whole company moves forward. Okay, so they're all about playing team. They're about helping others out, making sure nobody's left behind. You know what? They have that team spirit. They're great to be on a team. They're great to be a person to work with because they're not selfish. It's about other people. And if we sound like it's only about us, we can lose them. Okay. Their pace is slow and relaxed. They're 35% of the population. They want to be accepted. They want you to be pleasant as well. They strive for acceptance of everyone. People pleasers. Okay. So it's important that they're liked as well. That's a part of their personality. Their strength is that good team players, patient, nurturing, and supportive, and they're loyal as well. Their weaknesses, they take things personally. They're slow to make decisions, and they have fear of conflicts and risk. Okay, so that's the well. Do we know anybody like that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yep. So, and this is, even though we're having this for talking about core from a client standpoint, also potential people that can join us, this is in life as well. You can use these personalities to understand somebody better when you know what their language is and their personality is like. Okay. How do you approach someone like this? You must catch their attention with how they can help, and how is your company is helping other people. Like they want to hear that we have a cause to give back to the community. What is our a giving cause to a found a not-for-profit, things of that nature they're looking for. And it's all about others. It's all about strengthening families and things of that nature. They love that language, and that's the language we have to use when we're talking to them because it's all true. Anything else you will lose it well. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. I repeat them one more time. The first one was the shark. They love helping people. It's all about making money. And they're very aggressive. They want to get to the point. They're extremely good producers if they became a part of core. Outside of that, they want to see their money grow. They want to see where the bottom line is at, and that is going to be something that they can really leverage. They want to see that, and they want to get to the point about that. Let's go to the urchin. The urchin, once again, to recap on them, the dolphin was next. Dolphin, they're about having fun. They're about energy. They're about excitement. They're about coming together. They're about building relationships. Okay, that's the dolphin. The urchin is about facts, figures. They want statistics. They want the history. They want the present. They want to know the projections of the future. That's the urchin, y'all. And we got to be ready to give it to them. And then we're going to end it off with the well. The well is a person that loves helping people. The well is a person that want to save the world. They want to be a part of the community outreach. They want for people, everybody to win. And if you talk about selfness or you talk about what I can do, you're going to lose them. So I will always train on different ways to look at these four personalities as we go through different processing and different concepts, so we can identify how we use this for our advantage as we're approaching people, talking to people, closing people. They're very, very helpful. Now, there's different personality questionnaires out there. There's so many of them. But this one to me, has always been the easiest one to remember, the four fish. And so I like this language because it's easy to remember. It's other ones out there we might study. As a matter of fact, I know there's one out there that we're going to study different personalities. And I break them down when we do that, when we go over that book and that information and tell you which one is the shark, which one is the dolphin, which one is the urchin, which one is the whale. And most likely we'll know as well. So we'll be always knowing this is the one to fall back to. So when we talking and we corresponding with possibly one of your prospects, you can immediately tell me which one they are. Okay, they're well. I can tell you right now they're well, Tony. And that'll help me speak their language while I'm talking to them, while I'm doing the presentation. Now, if we don't know who they are, we have to be a little bit all of them. If we don't know who they are, if you just met them, you haven't been around them, maybe they would refer to you. We have to be a little bit all of them. You got to be balanced, and hopefully that's helpful, because you can't be with who you are, because you might be the one that might be the opposite of them. Like the two opposites is whale and shark. They're the two opposites. But you know what? When somebody have a combination of the whale and shark, they're the best producers.
Right here.
And Latoya's raising her hands as I say that, right? So to me, a leader is a little bit all of them. A leader they develop and they build the personality to have all four personalities. And that's when you know you're well read, you pay attention to other people's feelings, but you stay with the bottom line. You know what I mean? You stay with what we got to get done. Okay? And it'll be very helpful as we develop into the leaders to be able to work with other people, because you got to have all four to work with other people as well. Otherwise, if you're one of them, the other three would be like, okay, this person is too much of an urchin, or this person is too much of a shark, or it's about making money. You know what I'm saying? So it helps out in so many areas, right? So any comments or questions about the four personalities?
Hey, Tony, it's Digna.
Hi, Digna.
Hey. So when Willie and I started in network marketing, I mean, when this was first introduced to us, it was like, okay, this is crazy. Like, you don't really get it at the beginning.
Right.
Through the years, this particular training right here has been one of the most critical for our success in network marketing. Is really knowing who we're working with, and at that point, I'm not talking clients. I'm talking building a team, like what we do, because some people are just driven by fun, and if you don't show that in your presentation, if you don't show that in what you're doing, they're not going to join you. They're not going to be part of anything you're doing. And the same thing with all the other personalities, which they put different names or colors on them. We actually just did a training last weekend on an event where we all got separated by the personalities, and it was so amazing to see how we react to situations, because it's so important. And a lot of people failed in this industry because they don't understand this training. So it's key to us here in Core to learn this, to be able to connect with people at a whole different level going forward.
Well, I appreciate that, Digna. And I know that, the success you and Willie are having, I was sure that you and Willie had this a part of your skill set, because it's so important to be well-rounded, to deal with so many different personalities. And, thank you for, almost confirming that, that this is important for us to do that here. And from a client standpoint as well, because we can talk the wrong way to a client as well, and that's really important to know them as you get to know them, to know what language you need to kind of alter towards the way they're going to hear you and receive you as well. So I appreciate that.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to our next training. What I want to do now, I'm going to flip over to talking about life insurance. Give me a second and I pull that up. I have that ready right here. Okay. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to give, and I've done this before, and I wanted to do it again because I want to make sure we all know more about how life insurance works, and especially the way we use it. And we call this the 10-minute lesson on life insurance. And I'm going to go through and show how it looks from this graphic, from this visual. And then at the end, if anybody have any questions, please ask the question so you can understand a little bit better, so you know what we're doing in our objective with our clients when it comes to life insurance. The thing that I've learned in the years that Latoya and I have been really focusing in this industry for the last 10 years is that most insurance agents are not taught how insurance really works. They're taught how to sell it, but they're not taught how insurance really is laid out and how the insurance commission look at it and how the government look at it. And today, if this is your first time seeing this, it's going to give you an edge over 98% of everybody that's in the insurance industry, because most of them don't know how insurance really works. Okay? So here we go. Right here is, let me back this up. See if I can back this up here. Give me 1 second, y'all. See how can I do this? Because this is something in my way. Let me see if I can minus this down and bring it back. Okay, there we go. And let me back this up. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. If you see, there's a line at the bottom and there's a line at the top. Let me make sure. Can y'all see the screen with, the lines at the top and the bottom? In the middle, it says $500,000 right here.
Yes.
Yes, we see.
Okay, good. Okay, so at the bottom, the line that's at the bottom is the minimum that is required for somebody to have a policy, and at the top is the maximum that's required. The minimum is decided by the insurance company, by their rate makers and their actuaries. So what is the minimum coverage that can go in a policy according to how many dollars that they're paying for this policy? And then at the top, this line represents the maximum. How much money can go into an insurance contract without it being illegal or it going over the line we call the MEC line? I explain that in a second. So when we're designing a policy, when Latoya's designing a policy, we have to know these two lines. And the software gives us these two lines, okay? So now in saying that, a policy has infinite product designs. You can have 100 different agents look at a particular policy that's a client says, I want a $500,000 death benefit policy. And it could be 100 different ways it could be designed, right? So when they design it, once again, they got to know the MEC line, the top line, they got to know the bottom line, right? Now, in saying that, when they hit the top line, if it goes over that line, it can actually be looked at as a qualified plan, because a qualified plan is taxable. It's tax deferred though, not pre-tax. It's tax deferred. And just in case, what is a qualified plan? It's an IRA, it's a 401k, it's a 403b, it's a self-employment plan, it's a thrift account. We've heard all of these, right? I just want to make sure we all know when we hear qualified plans, we know what a qualified plan is. And that's what it is. So anytime somebody goes over the MEC line, if I could press this one more time, which is a modified endowment contract, you're going to be in a position where it's going to be looked at as a qualified plan. And when you take this money out of the policy, it's going to be taxed. We don't want that. So what we do, Latoya does, in the way she teach everybody that she's working with to do, is to make sure you do not cross this MEC line. So the software would tell you when it is in the MECing position. And we got to bring it down some. We try to go as close to the line as possible. So keep that in mind. Now, there's a minimum cost for a policy like this. If somebody has a $500,000 death benefit that's needed, they can pay $1,000 for it, or they can pay $10,000 for it. Which one do most people choose if they had an option?
The minimum. They do the minimum.
They do the minimum every single time.
Yeah.
Especially if they're uninformed and not educated about life insurance. And when it comes to the minimum, what is that called? Can somebody tell me what that says right there?
Term.
$1,000.
It's term. So you can
Yes.
get that's term for the whole year. $1,000 is what it would cost somebody, right? But if they wanted to pay maximum, they said, look, I want to pay maximum. I don't know why would somebody do that, but if they did that, they was informed. They educated about life insurance. So if that's the case, they would end up. I'm sorry. If that was the case, they paid $10,000. they would end up with all these living benefits right here. Can y'all see that? Please talk back to me.
Yes.
Okay, so that means they're paying the max that's available to be paid without going over the MEC line, but they're getting all these living benefits. See, what the public is being shared with, they looked at life insurance as more of a benefit for death. I beg to differ. The more we've gotten educated about this, life insurance is more beneficial while you're living. But who's teaching that? Who's saying that? Who's relaying that over to the public? We are, though, because all these benefits is life-changing when they understand how to use them. So if somebody really knew what they need to know, they would want to pay the maximum if it's affordable, right? And that's where I have a problem with buy, term, and invest the difference. Anyway, we're not going to get on that. So let me carry on. Now, being as though you get all those benefits, let's look at this. This is the way it's looked at. When we're designing one of these policies, what separates us from most of the industry is that we minimize the death benefit, right? We all can see that the death benefit here is being minimized. And we maximize the, let me grab my drawer because I want to make sure this is clear. Give me 1 second. Almost there. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we minimize the death benefit, but what do we do with the cash out of $10,000 a year? We maximize the cash in that 10 years. I mean, that 10,000 that 1 year. Who does that? 98% of the industry does not do that. What do they do?
Tony, state that again, please.
Okay, sure. What we do, Susan, we minimize the death benefit. And remember, this is if somebody they said, look, I want to pay the maximum, $10,000 a year, because I want the living benefits.
Okay.
Right? I want these living benefits, right?
This is a cash value policy.
It is.
Okay.
If they choose the maximum, Susan, if they choose the minimum to pay for this $500,000, they using a term down here. They only got to pay $1,000 a year.
Okay.
If they choose a whole life permanent life insurance policy, the way we design them is we minimize the death benefit. We minimize it. We maximize out of that $10,000 the cash value, the cash available, right? That's what makes us different. If you had somebody, Susan, purchase an IUL, it's going to look more like this. It's going to look more like this. The death benefit is going to be maximized out of the $10,000, and the cash value is going to be minimized. The whole $10,000 is going to insurance. That's how they do it. What we do is the opposite. Now, is there a cost for us doing this? Oh, absolutely, we lose money because we're doing it this way. But it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. And being as though we do the right thing, we have referrals after referrals, recommendations after recommendations, introductions after introductions, like crazy, because everybody else is doing the opposite. It's really, unfortunately, but it's not the right thing to do. Everybody does the opposite because they make more money off of, you make your commissions, vast majority of your commissions off the life insurance portion. So that's why they want the whole $10,000 to go towards the life insurance portion. When we might do more like 40% to death benefit and 60% to cash. And that's what separates us from the rest of the industry. I want to make sure everybody understood that right there. Anybody have any questions about what I just went over? That just before I go any further. Okay. The only time, let me qualify this. The only time all of it is going to go to cash, the only time that's going to, go to insurance, like let's say this whole $10,000, if somebody's trying to fit a bunch of money in here right away, and they're probably older, things of that nature. Like if they trying to fit $50,000 or $75,000, $200,000 up in this contract, then this whole $10,000 is insurance because it needs to be there because of the minimum requirement of insurance for the amount of cash going in there. It's a ratio. However, though, by the third year or so, third to fourth year, all that $10,000 annually is going to cash by then. It's amazing when we see this and how we do this, y'all. Any questions about that? Okay, good. All right, let's go. Let's move on.
Hey, Tony, is it okay if I make a statement?
Absolutely.
What I'm seeing now is guys over the last couple of years, been doing final expense and things like that, and doing benefits, is that with the Prime America boom, A.L. Williams boom, you're now starting to see people now in their 60s and the 70s and their term are starting to expire. And everybody's on the call, they're going to start seeing that a whole lot because it's that time now. So you want to keep in mind, and especially with IULs, when the market started changing in the 80s, with the banking stuff and these, IULs, and, when the ULs first came out. So you're going to start, so you want to pay attention to that. It's starting to come to play now. So, just let you know. So you definitely want to be educated on this great training.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody runs the whole life.
Yep. So that's awesome. And like Latoya just said, when the market changes, everybody runs the whole life. In the mid 1980s, when they closed the tax loopholes that was available, everybody ran to whole life. They dumped all their wealth in the whole life. And that's why they have a MEC line based off of what happened in the 1980s, the mid 1980s. They said, look, all the wealthy people putting all their money in these contracts. So we got to seal this and put a ceiling to this. Because before, you can do a single premium paid up policy and dump in millions of dollars at one time without a cap. And before you know it, nobody was looking at qualified plans. The government ain't liking that.
Wow.
And so they started putting a ceiling to it. But guess what, Gabriel? Everybody that had one already up until the mid 1980s, they were grandfathered in. They still got them to this day. And they dropping in millions. So we tell people all the time in our presentations, we don't know if the game here is going to change. That's why we tell people get as many as you can while you can right now, because they might change the game when they see everybody doing this. They're never going to do away with it because there's too many people that matter believe in this and do this. I'm saying, though, they can change the rules to it, though. So that's why we get as many as we can afford as fast as we can, because it's an asset. It's an asset. That's another training for another day. And I'm going to show you how it's an asset, even beyond what we think we know about it already. There's some other ways we can use these policies that I'm going to train on that one day. So anyway, so that's the MEC line. And when the government changed that, it made us to now have to do multiple policies to fit multiple dollars in here, like hundreds of thousands of dollars in here. You normally don't put more than a couple $100,000 in one policy. If you got to dump it, you probably want to do with multiple family members. Okay, so let's go. Let's click on. The other thing I wanted to make a point on. Okay, this is not moving. Okay, you know why? Because this is here. Let's get rid of that. Okay, now what I wanted to show, it's not moving. You know what? 1 second, y'all. I know what I'm doing wrong. There's one other point I want to make here. Okay. So kind of when I went over, living benefits is the cash value and all the benefits over here. So death benefit is minimized, living benefits is maximized out of the 10,000. So keep that in mind. The other thing I wanted to show, if it comes up here, is that term insurance is only death benefit. And I'm just assuming that there's a couple people on here studying for their license right now. Term insurance, when you think about term, it has an expiration date to it, maybe 10-year, 15, 20-year, maybe in 30 years. Well, if a person outlives that term period, their policy is done and all their money they paid is expired as well, because they don't get any of it back. And to me, the return premium of term is not worth getting that. And let me tell you why. If you ever hear somebody talking about, I can get return premium term, that's not worth it because that's more than whole life. So why would somebody do that? They could have bought whole life the whole time. Right. And they also giving your money back, for us, we know, without interest as well. So whole life, if they're going to do that, return a premium, they might as well do whole life. Seriously. So now we do use term. We use term as a writer to meet somebody's death benefit needs, right? If they can't afford $10,000. So that's a whole nother way that we solve for this. My last point is this. Let me see if we can show it to me real quick. Okay, let me do it down here. Okay. Can y'all see this stair step up here where it says increasing face amount? Can anybody see that? Everybody's muted?
Yes, I can
Yes.
see it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were.
Okay. All right. I'm about to open up, y'all, so y'all can unmute. So right here, this stair step is showing that the more somebody's paying into this every year, the way this is designed, it never stays at the death benefit amount from the first year. It grows every year. So if somebody started with $200,000 that first year, by the end of the first year, it's probably at 230, 240. 2-3 years later, it's at almost 300,000. I mean, and it grows and grows for most of the duration of that person's life. As long as they contribute to the policy. Matter of fact, even past the contribution of the policy. When we did a 20-year pay on somebody, even past the 20 years, the way we design them, this death benefit grows every year, almost the rest of their life. So it might have started off at 200,000. 30 years later, it might end up being 400,000. Because the extra money we put in there, remember, a private family banking whole life policy, you're max funding this policy. You're going all the way to the line, and you should every year. And if you're doing that, that's actually putting a position of more insurance being purchased every year. So that's what's happening with that. The PEA is allowing you to do that. Now, I'm going to go back to Susan, what you talked about earlier, Susan. Susan, you're there? This might be a visual that you can remember.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Susan, being as though this is happening every year, when somebody get an IUL or anything else, that's not happening. You see, if they had $200,000 the first year right here,
Mm-hmm.
and they funding it just like this, $10,000 a year, their death benefit stays at $200,000 their whole life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody says to you, well, I don't get my cash value, my family don't get that, you're not going to get it because you're dead. The insurance not going to get it because they're dead. But what they do get that offsets them not getting the cash value, and most times it's more than the cash value, is all this growth that happened, the way we designed it. So it went from 200, let's say, to 450,000, Susan. So year one, they had 200,000. By year 30, they pass away. They have 450. That's $250,000 more money, but their cash value probably was 100,000. Which one would you rather have, Susan?
Very true, Tony. And it's funny that you went over this now, because yesterday I spent 4 hours at work reading up on do life insurance keep your cash value, just because I ran into a couple of people who do. I apologize. I had to yell at some kids. They don't know I'm studying.
Playing mommy and businesswoman at the same time, right?
So just to and if anybody, this makes sense, but I'm just going to give everybody the analogy that was an aha moment for me, and maybe it will help somebody. And Shante, if you were on the line, because I remembered you helped me with this some more, but it still did not click. And I don't know which personality I am yet. I have to figure out, because I'm a little bit of everybody. I'll
tell you, Susan, when we get done.
She know what she is. She know what she is. I don't know why she's playing on the phone with people.
I think my brother, he's an urchin, but he's making me an amazing to be an amazing financial educator, right? We're consultants, but I say educator. let me just give you guys the example, Tony, which horns in on this, and maybe it will help somebody because I'm a very visual person. The article I read gave two analogies. Term insurance, yes, we don't do term. For some people, it may work based on their financial situation. If they're a new couple, they're just starting out, they're not making enough money, right? But term and whole life is not apple and apple as, because I've ran into a lot of people who deal with the whole Dave Ramsey. And like Tony was saying, that's like a cliche. Well, pay a low premium, get a term and invest the difference. But it's not an apple to apple comparison. And because of what Tony just said, and the example that he gave was, I'm 36 years old and I'm putting in $15,000 in a policy. And the death benefit is just at roughly $500,000. At the end of 40 years, I've put in a total of $75,000, but my policy from $530,000 has now grown to almost $700,000. That's a jump of almost $150,000, doubled what you have put in. Mm-hmm. So the notion, so if you passed away, your family still makes up way better than what you put in as far as cash value.
That's right.
And think of it as this: term is renting, whereas whole life is like owning a mortgage. When you pay your mortgage premiums, it gives you equity into your home. That's the hope. In most situations, that's what happens. But when you finish paying your mortgage, you get the deed of your house. You get the note. Mm-hmm. You can't turn around and tell the bank that, hey, I paid $400,000 inside in my mortgage all this while. I need you to give me back on top of me holding the note. So that $400,000 that you put in, the hopes is that in most situations, unless you just did bad, you bought a house in a bad neighborhood that just didn't have a growth, you would end up selling your house for much more than what you put into if you kept it long term. That's the whole point of a house. Mm-hmm. So that's the analogy that clicked for me when he said, when you're done paying your mortgage, you don't tell the mortgage company to say, okay, give me all the money I put in, plus give me the note where when I sell it, I can make more profit on top of that. It doesn't work that way. And so when we put cash value life insurance, when we build those policies like Toya is teaching us, we're allowing people to use it as living benefits. But if you don't touch it, that money is not lost, because by the end the death benefit is paid out, whatever you had in cash value, most likely your death benefit has doubled or quadrupled, especially if your policy was set up with paid up additions that buy mini policies inside of them. Toya, I figured that out yesterday too, and it makes sense.
That's awesome. So,
and that's how your money grows. So that clicked for me. So the notion, and I ran into two people in sharing this that are Dave Ramsey's diehard. She actually teaches it in a church. And I did have an answer, and as well as my brother asking me that question. But guess what? When I was chatting with him yesterday and I gave him that analogy, guess what Salim said to me? Wow, I never saw it that way, sis.
Wow. That's awesome.
4 hours yesterday.
That's what we do, Susan.
Yes. So I'm sorry for bothering you guys and asking you tons of questions, but it makes me a better person.
No, it wasn't a bother.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So if that helps, I hope it does. But that's really the best analogy for me that hit it home. So if it helps somebody else, that's fine. I would love to share the article that I found that broke it down, and we can share with everybody else. It just helps, because you will run into people that give you that same speech, and it's just to take a step back to say, it's just, we don't practice that, but when we run into a family that needs term, we're not opposed to that because they need coverage. But if you can afford a whole life policy and you can adjust yourself, because our goal is to find a leak in the bucket so that you can afford a whole life policy. But for somebody just starting out who doesn't, okay, term. We're not going to, shoot it, but we're not going to think that term is way better than whole life, because you're not looking at the growth in a policy over time. That's what Dave Ramsey does not, maybe he just doesn't know, but he does not connect with his readers for them to understand. He's just like, well, when you die, they keep your cash value. But they're keeping your cash value, but what they're paying your beneficiary, you put in $100,000, but they're giving your beneficiary $350,000. So who made out well?
Yeah, let me tell you, he understands it. It's just that he's beholden to other
Insurance companies, true.
Right. So he can't really, put it out there, the truth. And it really is a bait and switch what they're doing as far as the cash value is concerned with a whole life policy. How they explain it is very deceptive because they know that the general public don't understand insurance, period. So
absolutely.
I know I'm off camera. Here I am. I am here, but but they know that the general public doesn't understand insurance. So they it's easy to, do the bait and switch and fool people about that. But I've heard that analogy before, and that actually helped me understand it better too. The renting versus buying, it does explain it very clearly because the two are so close together as far as renting a house versus buying a house, building equity, so on and so forth, as far as a whole life policy is concerned. So yes, that is an awesome analogy.
That's it, Tony. So
Can
yes,
I say
that
something really quick? Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
It's Chantel.
Yep.
Okay. So Susan, I just wanted to say really quickly, I'm on the call, but when that was a really, really good analogy with looking at the mortgage to the home versus the renting option. But even for that family, that young married couple that's just starting out, it still would be wise for them to still do a home policy because they still have money that they can borrow against. Remember, they can't do anything with the cash value. There's no cash value with the term. And even if it gives them some death benefit, 98% of people that have term policies never see the payout from it. You have to die prematurely in order to get the benefits of get the death benefit for a term policy. Now, you can still get a whole life policy, and it may not look like a lot of coverage at the time, but what the cash is doing at the same time that you can put in is, let's say they have something where it's like, maybe they're doing a couple $100 a month, or maybe $200 a month between the two of them, something like that. As that money is building, they can still borrow against that and offset emergency expenses or something like that when it comes to something happening and one of them can't work or they can't make the mortgage payment or something like that. But the term, they can do nothing but sit there, give that money out, never see it come back, and pray that they don't die prematurely. And the best case scenario for the term is if they die prematurely, they'll get a death benefit.
Shante, 110% agree with you. When I read the article, the only caveat to that, which made me think on the other side, is you're going to have some people who are just gung-ho, not going to get it. And in that situation, it's better to have some coverage rather than none. So obviously our goal, you're right, is they may think they can't afford it, but if they start with like a Tony and you're able to find those leaks in your economy, they will now automatically be able to qualify for a whole life. But we know, based on the personality type, some people are going to be like, look, go up, come down. Right now, it's no. And in that situation, I don't want to bash term, but I'll say, fine. If that's what, at the end of the day, is what's going to make them comfortable. So, but I'll just revisit it maybe, a few years down the line. But that's just what I got from it. But like you, like me, the most important thing is, where can we find that leak so that you can even get a $20,000 whole life, because you'll still be better with that starting off. And we know you can get multiple policies as your income go, than still a term. Like, you can't justify for me a term, but I do know some people are going to say, that's what I want right now. That's all I can afford. And at that point, you have to respect it. But no, your point is valid.
And they can do a term rider within the whole life policy.
I was going to say that.
So much cheaper. And you can show them that, and it literally is going to blow their mind.
Sometimes the term is necessary. When we doing a policy, in order to fit inside all the money in a policy, we add term in there as a rider based off of that is still able to be used for the ratio of how much insurance versus money going into that contract. So they won't have to spend so much money on whole life. So we do use term quite a bit, especially for an adult, when it comes to fitting large amounts of money in there to make it fit and make the insurance costs be minimum. So that's all about how we have gotten really efficient at solving for somebody's position that they want to be in as far as their objectives. So everybody's different. There's no one way of doing it. Some people need to have term, even just for the fact that they started a new family off and don't make a lot of money. The breadwinner needs to have coverage, and they can't afford like say $250,000 of whole life at $5,000-6,000 a year, but they can afford $700-800 a year having term of $250,000. So if that's the case, but remember, it's a means to an end. When in 5 to 10 years, they shouldn't have that term policy for death benefit for life, right? So somehow or another, their income should increase, and 10 years from now, they never have to renew that term again, or 15 years from now. So we got to let that plan be a part of the plan to make sure we meet them at where they are right now. But if we're working with them, they're not a client just for this product sale. Remember, we're process and strategy. If somebody's a new family member starting out, they have a family, or they are in between jobs and they don't have a lot of money right now, we're going to revisit them every year until it gets to the point that they don't need term no more. So keep that in mind, y'all. We're here to serve our clients for the rest of our lives, right? And, and if they with Core, the rest of their lives. And that's what is going to attract people to us, is that we following up with them every 6 months to a year. Well, the first year is probably you want to check in with them every 6 months. And then after a year or so, at least once a year, because things change. They might want another policy, another family member that just was born, things of that nature. Those clients might be 50% of your clients in the future based off of recommendations and new family members coming into the family. So good content. Good dialogue. I really appreciate that from both you young ladies for sharing your thoughts on it as well. Well, hopefully today was helpful. We started off with time versus money. Remember, Sunwind, y'all. This is something we're building for the long haul. This is not get rich overnight kind of position that we're with Core. So time versus money, you can see what can happen 2, 3, 4, 5 years being in this industry and learning your craft, separating yourself from the rest of the industry. Then we talked about swing versus club. We believe in a swing. Remember, we believe in a swing, not just the club. We're not a product selling company. We're a process driven company. Then we talked about the different 4 personalities. Remember, the 4 personalities is how you're going to attract people to you and not detract people from you. And that helps you out. We've got to be liked. People have to have confidence in us. And then we ended up with talking about the 10-minute lesson on life insurance, even though it takes about 20 to 30 minutes. It's 10 minutes lesson on life insurance that's going to help us understand how we solve in the difference in types of policies, so we can be smarter, more wise, and more informed than the rest of the industry, because they're not informed. They tell them what they want them to know to sell the product. That's what they do. And our clients know in a lot of cases know more than most agents know about insurance. So just know that helps us, that helps you, that helps Core in being different than what everybody else is. Hopefully the day was helpful and it was received in a way of being taught some things that you can see how we're different and how you can leverage that, and that you can become stronger every day about building your practice in your business. Any comments or any questions?
Hey, Tony, can I add something?
Absolutely.
When you was doing the living benefits there, one of the things I did, another point we can actually come out when we're talking to our people, when we're definitely doing a need analysis, or we're finding the money, is that a lot of people don't know about the living benefits. You have people that's on their job or having individual policies now with cancer plans, or what they call critical illness plans. So just remember, you're going to run across people like that. That's money that can be allocated into our policies. So just I've definitely experienced that, and probably a lot of people on the call are going to probably experience that too. They're spending $30, $40, $50 a month on a critical illness policy. Now we have this now inside our insurance plan. So I just wanted to
that's a good point. That's a really good point. That's a really good point, because critical, chronic, and terminal illness comes with the plan without them paying extra for it. So what Gabe is saying is that we can have them find money based off of that, because they can tie that into more money that can be in a policy that's already a part of it, tied into it, without them paying extra dollars for it. That's awesome, Gabriel. Appreciate that. Shantae, you trying to say something?
I was just saying accelerated death benefits, automatic rider that's already on. Yeah, it's the name of it.
Right.
People that just finished studying it or already in the process of studying for this.
Yep. So accelerated death benefit is what the general industry name of it is called. Accelerated death benefit.
Shantae, I like that shirt. I just got a zoom of it. I need my own. I need my own logo so I can print my own shirt.
For all the way.
Oh, so nice. I just peeped that. She zoomed into the camera.
Susan.
Nice.
Hey, Susan, Toya said she's gonna put one in the mail for you. You actually was supposed to get one, but you wasn't at that event.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
It's okay. I have nothing but love for you. Thank you.
So, and there's a couple other people that we got to give them to as well. Any last questions or comments? Hey, y'all, December the 15th. What is December the 15th, y'all? Come on, give it to me, y'all. Let me hear it. No, y'all, it's going to be a blast, y'all. This is when we all get our dolphin on, y'all. Seriously. So December the 15th, lock it in your calendar. Lock it down. And any last questions? I know for those that live in the Delaware area, on the 26th, which is not next Saturday, Daniel Hunter is giving a financial workshop reception at a cigar lounge that we did one before, and nice setting in there, and it's open for if you have a potential person you want to bring through. Let us know. Daniel, you're there. Give RSVP with Daniel so he knows and keep account of how many people is going to be attending that day.
Yeah, I'm here, Tony.
Yeah. Any information you want to give on that reception next week?
I gotta look at the flyer. I don't even know what time it is.
I think it started at 1:30, I think.
Yeah, is the text that you send out, is that everybody that's on the call now? That include everybody on the group?
Yes.
All right, what I'm gonna do, if it's fine, I'm gonna post it on there.
Okay, that's fine.
Y'all can just let us know if y'all have anybody in the Wilmington area, Delaware area. They're more than welcome to come.
Sounds good. That's next Saturday, y'all. Next Saturday afternoon.
Yep, I'm trying to find it. I still can't find it. But I posted on that group text for everyone. And don't hesitate to send somebody there. Just let me know. Let us know who's coming so we can take care of your folk.
Absolutely.
Tony.
Anything else there anybody want to announce?
Tony, if you could please call me right after the call, I would really appreciate it. Susan.
I sure will.
Thank you.
No doubt.
Oh, Susan, I'll give you a call a little bit later today. I saw your text.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, well, we're going to be back next Saturday. Next Saturday, what I'm going to talk about and go over next Saturday is the five areas of the top five areas of wealth transfers that we talked about last week or the week before: taxes, mortgages, qualified plans, college funding, and major capital purchases. I'm going to show you how they all are wealth transfers, and how we have a conversation with somebody about resolving those major five areas. Those are the first five areas I look at in everybody's personal economy. So I'm going to show you how you can relate that information over to them, or how we relate that information over to them, for people that are not seeing that, because they're not taught or they're not informed enough to know that they're losing money in those five areas. So I'm going to show that next week. So that'll be a topic next week.
Awesome.
All right, y'all. Well, if no other questions or comments, I appreciate everybody. Enjoy your Saturday. And sorry for the complications earlier. We will be ready next week and the weeks after, and making sure that we are protected in what it is that we're doing here. We are on the move, and I appreciate each and every one of you being a part of CORE. All right. Enjoy your weekend and God bless.
Thanks.